Okay, let's dive into one of the oldest and honestly, one of the most gut-wrenching stories ever written. It's a story that tackles a question that, let's be real, haunts every single one of us.
You know the one. Why do bad things happen to good people? It's a real puzzle, isn't it? Especially if you believe in one all-powerful, all-good God. How do you make sense of suffering in a world that's supposed to be run by a benevolent being?
Well, there's a book about 3,000 years old that dives headfirst into this very question. We're going to unpack the book of Job, and I gotta tell you, it does not pull any punches. It challenges everything you think you know about justice, faith, and suffering. It doesn't offer easy answers, but it offers something profound.
So where does our story begin? You might expect a tragedy, but no. It starts with a portrait of a man named Job, a guy who is, by all accounts, perfect. He's the absolute model of a righteous person. The text tells us he's blameless, he's upright, he fears God, and he avoids evil. And he has been rewarded for it big time. He's got immense wealth, a huge happy family. I mean, this guy is the poster child for the idea that if you do good things, you get good things in return. But then the camera suddenly pans up, way up, to the heavens. The scene shifts dramatically to God's divine court. And this is where things get really interesting. A figure appears, a character known only as the adversary. Now, hang on, because this is super important. When we hear that word, Hasatan in the Hebrew, we immediately think of the devil, right? But that's not really what's going on here. In this context, it's more like a title, a job description. Think of him as a celestial prosecutor. His role is to test people, to question whether their faith is the real deal or just for show. So, the adversary points to Job and basically says to God, "Sure, he's faithful now. You've given him everything. But take it all away, and I guarantee he will curse you to your face." It's a cosmic wager, and God accepts the bet, confident in Job's integrity. And just like that, a devastating test is set in motion, all to answer one huge question. Can a person be righteous for no reason at all, without any reward? And then, bam, it all comes crashing down. And it happens fast, a series of catastrophes, one right after another. His wealth is wiped out, his servants are killed, all 10 of his children die in an instant. And then, as if that wasn't enough, his body is covered in agonizing sores. His entire world is gone. In the face of this absolute, unimaginable loss, Job's first reaction is stunning. He doesn't curse God. Even when his own wife, seeing his misery, tells him to just curse God and die, he refuses. He holds on. He passes that first terrible test. But while Job doesn't curse God, he is not okay. His famous patience starts to crack under the sheer, unrelenting weight of his pain. And this is where the book moves from being a story to being a deep philosophical exploration. See, he never curses God, but he absolutely curses the day he was born. He sits in the dirt and just lets it all out, demanding to know why. How could a just God allow an innocent person to suffer like this? He can't make it make sense, and he demands an explanation.
Then, his 3 friends arrive. They've come to comfort him, or so they say. But they quickly become his accusers because they walk in with a theory. They think they have the easy answer to his suffering. Their entire argument is built on this very simple, very neat idea called retributive justice. You know it as karma. Good things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people. End of story. So if you're suffering this badly, well, their logic is simple. You must have done something to deserve it.
And this kicks off the main event of the book, a long, passionate, poetic debate. His friends keep insisting, "You must have some secret sin, Job. Just confess, and God will make it all better." But Job fires back, "I am innocent. What you're saying about God can't be true, because look at what's happening to me."
Job completely rejects their tidy little explanations. He knows he's innocent. His reality, his lived experience, doesn't fit into their theological box. And their attempts to make it fit aren't comforting at all. They're just another form of torture.
After round of this debate goes nowhere, the story reaches its climax. Job has been demanding his day in court, a chance to plead his case directly to God. And now, finally, he gets his wish. God speaks.
So this is it, the moment we've all been waiting for. How is God going to answer? Is he going to explain everything? Is he going to issue a verdict? We are primed for an explanation, for a justification. But that is not all at all what happens.
In a wild turn, God doesn't answer Job's question. Instead, he comes back with a whole series of questions of his own. He completely sidesteps the human legal drama and just zooms the camera all the way out.
Speaking from a whirlwind, a symbol of raw, untamable power, God's very first line just reframes the whole conversation. He doesn't defend his actions. He questions Job's very capacity to judge them.
And here's the crucial part. God never ever explains why Job suffered. Instead, he takes Job on this breathtaking tour of the cosmos. He points out the wildness of creation, creatures like the Leviathan that are totally beyond human control. It's a powerful lesson in humility. The point is to show Job that the universe is infinitely more complex than his human-sized ideas of fairness.
And faced with this overwhelming vision of a vast, mysterious cosmos, Job is humbled. He retracts his lawsuit. He admits he was talking about things far beyond his understanding. And that's where the poetic heart of the book ends. But then there's this little epilogue. Job gets double his wealth back, a new family, and lives a long, happy life. It feels almost tacked on, doesn't it? Because this neat, tidy ending doesn't erase the harrowing existential questions the rest of the book forced us to confront.
And that gets us to the story's real power. The book of Job isn't the answer to why good people suffer. It's an argument that maybe that's the wrong question to be asking in the first place. It suggests that the world is far too complex, far too mysterious for our simple formulas of reward and punishment.
So in the end, the book doesn't offer the comfort of an easy answer. It offers the strength that comes from embracing mystery. It suggests that real faith isn't about getting all the answers, but about having trust when you have no answers at all. And that leaves every one of us with a really powerful and maybe unsettling challenge to think about.